Hello. The two people I see coming in. Can you guys hear me well? Can I get a thumbs up in the chat or thumbs up if you can hear me well? Give me a second, y'all. I'm sharing. I see a thumbs up. Thank you. Like I hear an echo. Do you guys hear an echo on your side? Sorry for my tardiness. Trying to get it together, y'all. Do you hear an echo on your side? Do you hear an echo on your side? Do you hear an echo on your side? Thank you. Waiting for a few more people to come on in. I got this music playing in the background, y'all. I didn't think about how to cut that up. So let's see. Oh, there it is. Cut it off right there. Can you guys hear the music? Hello, hello, hello. I just want to know if y'all can hear me over this music. Still, we got 2 people in here. 3 people. Okay, 3 people. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Letting a few more people come on in, y'all. Oh, I forgot I need to make it public as well. That's another thing. Let's see. Edit post. Ooh, there's a lot of stuff in the backside, y'all. Oh, it says public. Okay, so we should be good. So now let me go and make sure. Just public for my other page. We're getting there, y'all. We're getting there. Bear with me. Bear with me. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for coming in. Don't leave. Stay right there. Just trying to make sure that if y'all chose to share, you could. Yeah. All right, so here as well. All right. All right. How y'all doing? I always like to do a check-in with everybody. I'm gonna cut this music off because I don't know how loud it is on your side. So let's cut the music off. Music be gone. All right. Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Checking In with Pam LLC. We did definitely go on a mid-season break, so we are back. So thank you for those that decide to come on back. I definitely appreciate you. So for those of you that may be new, of course, right now we see 2, but we know that's about to go up because we just got faith that it's gonna go up. But with that being said, so checking in with Pam LLC was inspired by my mother, who has since gained her wings in 2020. She always kind of gave me the go ahead, if you will, to do something, talk about mental health, business in general, and so that's what we are currently doing here. That's what Checking In with Pam LLC is about. So you definitely didn't stumble across this just by happenstance. It's a message in it for you. That's my hope. But without further ado, again, Checking In with Pam LLC is something that will be coming to you now moving forward twice a month. And today is the 18th, so we have one more before this month goes out. So it won't be next Tuesday, but it'll be the Tuesday after that. But you can also catch me on another podcast that I'm on, and that is Hey Cousin Podcast. You can find that on any platform. So I'm a co-host on that platform as well. So you'll be able to kind of still, see me weigh in on different topics. But I'll be here on Checking In with Pam LLC and also on Hey Cousin Podcast. So you'll be able to see me all month, but twice here on Checking In with Pam LLC and twice on Hey Cousin. All right. So without further ado, we got a lot of catching up to do. I don't know if you guys saw the last show that I did just before we went on a mid-season break, but I was blessed to get a new job, so I'm definitely grateful and thankful to be able to be working at this new job. I will tell you what I'm doing. I'm a social worker now. I won't tell you the county because that's not important. But I am a social worker now, and I am extremely ecstatic for what I've learned. I'm extremely ecstatic for what's to come. I'm excited about being able to work with families and help them find different remedies and provide them with supports and resources so that they can keep the children in the home. And kind of change the stigma that kind of surrounds social work. All it takes is one instance that can positively impact moving forward. So that's my goal. That's my hope. So I just wanted to kind of let you guys know what I've been doing since the mid-season break. So now I want to kind of check with you if you're comfortable. If you're comfortable, can you share what you've been doing, whether it be here in the chat, or if you don't feel like saying nothing right now, I understand. I understand. Most of the time people don't like step into the mic, so I get it. I don't know what's happening with Sarah. We here. Listen, that's what we can go with. We just gonna thank God that we here. Uh, we started late, but we here. Um, Now, if you also want to, head out and come back in a little bit too, listen, I would hope that you would stay here with me. But I also understand, like, sometimes you gotta go and come back. So I get that too. Um, so with that being said, of course, I am still tagging people. So, but yeah. So what have you got? What have you guys been doing? Where have you guys been? What have you done for the new year? Is anybody um, still trying to catch their breath from the Super Bowl? I want to talk about that a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts. Um, I'm still tagging a few people, y'all. And again, forgive me for being a little, a little here, a little there, but we here. To God be the glory. Let's see. Also, is this a good time? Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Is this a good time for you guys? I tried to choose a date that is a little bit a day and a time that most people are getting home, getting settled. So obviously you ain't gotta watch it, but at least you can listen, and cook or clean up or whatever it is that you're doing. So is it still a good time for everybody? I think 8 works for me, even though I was a little late today, but is it a good time for you? All right. Those are all the people I can think of off the top of my head. So we're gonna roll with it. Mm, we can roll with it. Every time I say I'm gonna roll with it, y'all, I find somebody else to tag. Um, I'm coming, y'all. I promise. Let's see who else. Okay, I think I'm officially done this time. All right. I wanted to update that real quick. All right. Works for you? Okay. 8 works for you. Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you for weighing in, Miss Kim. All right. So yes. So again, we're just gonna roll with it. You guys will be able to see it, in a second. So we're gonna roll with it. So the halftime show, there has been a lot of backlash associated with the halftime show. I don't have the exact numbers because I'm getting mixed information, and I don't want to come to you guys with any incorrect information. But what I will say is, um, Kendrick Lamar had a lot of viewers that tuned in for the halftime show. But then, of course, a lot of people are trying to say that in addition to there being a lot of people viewing the halftime show, that a lot of people then left after the halftime show. So they're trying to blame Kendrick Lamar for that as well. So on top of everybody trying to say that Kendrick Lamar gave perhaps the worst halftime show ever, which I don't agree with, but hey, everyone is entitled to their opinions. I do think that the message went over some people's heads, which I get that too. Um, there was a lot of symbolism that I felt that he used, and if you get it, you kind of get it. If you don't, you kind of don't. And I think that's what turned a lot of people off. Um, I feel that, I seen one interview, I cannot think of the man's name to save my life, but I seen one interview where the guy, was basically saying that Kendrick Lamar was racist because he didn't have not one white person on the stage. There was basically no representation on the stage, and it's like, whoa, well, no one complained about any of the previous halftime shows where, there may not have been representation. So I think a lot of people felt uncomfortable with it, but I also feel that rather than making it about a color thing, listen to the message of what was happening. And I think that's what lost a lot of people. That, that also sparked something else that transpired. A lot of people were talking and bashing Serena Williams. Serena came out and said that she did not join the show to try to stunt or piss anybody off, so to speak. But if you think back to when she was in what is it, Wimbledon, when she was doing the playoffs, I think that's what you call it in tennis. Don't quote me if that's not what you call it. But basically, she got fined back in a tennis match that she was in for doing the crit walk. She's from Compton, y'all. She's from, what I mean? It's a part of her. It's a part of who she is. So to me, that was a statement that she made when she went and she performed with Kendrick Lamar. She chose to K Dot that was his original name, K Dot. But she chose to dance on the field with K Dot. And so again, it wasn't a slap or anything towards Drake. It was more or less like, listen, I'm here. I want to show a message. He asked me to come and be a part of this platform, and I'm choosing to be a part of the platform. And she was only up there for like 5 seconds. So people are really, really upset about that. But again, I digress. So again, I'm just trying to, catch you guys up, have conversations that we did not talk about, but that actually led to today's topic. I was literally driving on yesterday and was having a conversation with my best friend whenever she come up here. I was having a conversation with her, and we were literally talking about the halftime show and how if you decide to be a victim of your circumstance, then you're never going to be able to get beyond where you are or wherever you are operating in. And so that was literally where the message came from. So I titled it, Which One Are You? Are you a victim of your circumstance, or are you a conqueror, a conqueror of your circumstance? A conqueror, conqueror. I don't know why I got tongue tied with that, of your circumstance. And so I feel that in this particular case, using the Drake and Kendrick Lamar situation, everybody on the outside looking in, um, hello to you, whoever came in. We're currently talking about, we're wrapping up the Kendrick Lamar thing and whether people got it or didn't get it. With that being said, so I think, and this is just my way in on it, I think in this particular case, from last, what was that, June-ish, up until current, Drake was operating in the victim of his circumstance. And I say that because he was punching the air. He done sent Kendrick Lamar and his team a cease to desist, saying that he's gonna sue them if he performed not like us on the halftime. So I'm just waiting to hear reports about that, because I mean that was Kendrick Lamar's biggest song to date, right? On top of that being his biggest song to date, that man got 5 Grammys off that song. Now, we can look at it many different ways. We can look at it as the Grammys, you know, throwing dirt on Drake. We can look at it as, hey, this is what hip hop is. This is what hip hop was created and formed off of, expression, friendly competition, right? You know what I mean? We can look at it from that standpoint, or we can look at it from, again, somebody simply saying, hey, you know what? You took this opportunity to try to downplay me. You took this opportunity to down me. Like, in so many different angles that can be viewed. So again, the question posed is Drake currently operating as a victim of his circumstance? Or is he taking this to say, hey, you know what? I'm done with the beef part of it. I'm just going to channel all of my energy or whatever into my new music. Now, supposedly, he came out with a new song. I have not heard the new song. I'm going to listen to the new song, and I'm not a music critic, but I like music. So I'm going to let you know what I feel like is trash or not. Or I shouldn't say trash, flop or bop or whatever they call it nowadays. I don't even know what they call it anymore, but we're going to figure out whether I'm going to blast it or not. So for those of you that are currently tuning in, we're talking about the halftime show, and we're talking about whether Drake is currently operating in being a victim of his circumstance or whether he's been a conqueror of his circumstance. So that's kind of sort of what we're talking about. And just to give more context of that, are you choosing to, adhere to the negativity of whatever your circumstance is? Are you choosing to, rise above whatever your circumstance is? And so that's kind of sort of what we're talking about in terms of that. So again, I personally feel like Drake's punching the air. I don't know the man, but I know that, for the longest time, Drake has been, number one on the rap game, even though a lot of people say that his stuff is not hard enough to be officially hip hop, but then it's also, I guess, too soft to be R&B. I don't know. But at either rate, he has been, quote unquote, in like this number one spot for a minute until Not Like Us came out and knocked them clean out the park. So now the question still remains: is Drake victim of his circumstance, or is he a conqueror of his circumstance? What's your thoughts? Do you think victim of his circumstance? So say Drake victim or Drake conqueror. Or if you don't want to say either one, that's cool too. That is cool too. I see people coming in and people going out. So this will probably be a short one, just giving you guys, just being honest. This will probably be a short show. Oh, excuse me. As I know. What's up, C? As I know that this is we're just returning. So Sierra, thank you. Welcome. So we're currently talking about whether Drake is a victim of his circumstance or a conqueror of his circumstance. Basically saying that, hey, he was number one for a minute until Not Like Us came out, and Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, and it knocked him clean out of the park. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that? Do you feel that Drake is victim of his circumstance or conqueror of his circumstance? That's right. I'm saying the words right, y'all. I'm looking on the phone too, and it said that I said it right because it got subtitles on there. So yeah. So what's your thoughts? And it sucks because you can't see like on Apple, you can't see whether somebody's typing or not. So that's where this pause is coming from. Okay. So we won't stay there too long. So another one that I wanted to talk about, and I know y'all probably gonna do a lot. Okay, wait. Okay. Thank you, Steve. Sierra came in and said, I think it's just Kendrick Lamar's turn. It's his time. Drake is a commercial artist and Kendrick is a conscious rapper. Two different lanes. Hey, I agree. You said it better than me. I agree. I do think that they are in two different lanes, but of course, a lot of people have weighed in, and a lot of people said that they feel that Kendrick Lamar should. I'm paraphrasing here. Basically, Kendrick Lamar should bow down to Drake because Drake is the one that kind of really put Kendrick Lamar on. Now, I do understand where they're coming from in terms of Drake put Kendrick Lamar on I don't know which album it is, so I'm not even gonna quote that. But Drake put him on his album. And they feel that now that Kendrick Lamar is in the space that he's in, that he should not have gone that hard. Is basically what people are saying. Now, in a particular case like that, I can't really say that because I don't know what the conversations were like behind the scenes. But I can say that, at the end of the day, it's art, and art is about expression. I do understand the words and the punchlines that were used in Kendrick Lamar's songs, so I get that too. Sierra came in and said, in this climate, we needed the show at the Super Bowl, even with the shade. The message was bigger than the beef, and I agree with that too. That's what I was saying earlier. I agree with that. It was so much symbolism in the Super Bowl that I think a lot of people did not. And I use the word bow down. I probably should have thought of something else, but on the fly, bow down is what came out. But I do think that they were thinking that Kendrick Lamar should not have gone as hard towards Drake because Drake put him on. And I think that's really what they were saying. So again, bow down was my words, but I think they were more or less talking about, again, they felt that Kendrick Lamar should not have gone as hard as he did in terms of Drake. In my opinion, it's art. It is what it is. When you have a diss track, you literally trying to artistically go jab for jab for somebody that you're in a beef with. That's just what it is. You're not up there like, hey, let's talk about dandelions and rainbows when you're making a diss track. That's not what you're talking about. Drake did his, he did his, Kendrick Lamar did his. And it was just, hey, who was the better of the two? That's really what it is. It is what it is. It reminds me of when Nicki Minaj and Remy were going toe to toe. People can say Remy can't rap, but she bodied Sheetha. You know what I mean? She literally said some stuff in there that made Whatchamajig Jig in everything. And in fact, she came out with Bigfoot. Get on the Bigfoot. Good foot. What? That's like what? Like you shouldn't even have came back out. Oh no, Bigfoot was about Megan. My bad. So again, another beef. So anyway, so yeah, so C came back and said you can show respect and not kiss ass. I agree. I agree with that. So again, that leads me to, so is it safe to say, I don't want to assume you guys. So for those of you that are here, I don't want to assume. So do you feel that Kendrick Lamar handled, both Kendrick Lamar and Drake handled that properly? Are either one of them victims of their circumstance or conquerors of their circumstance? What do you feel? What do you think? What's going on, Simone? Don? So that, while I'm waiting for you guys to respond in the chat, if you choose to, that leads me to my next one. So I know a lot of y'all not gonna like what I'm about to say. So here is another point. It says exactly beef, diss tracks, it sells. And that's what it's literally about. It sells. Netflix have a whole show about the beef. See, there you go. And listen, it is what it is. At the end of the day, in the words of Glorilla, at the end of the day gonna end. So at some point, all of this is gonna be a thing of the past. We moving on to something else that's happening. You know what I mean? It's a lot of things. Again, I'm gonna say this last point, and I promise I'm gonna move on from the Super Bowl. It's a lot of things that's happening in the world, things that we as a people may not have given a lot of attention to, but a lot of that was played out because, again, like Sierra said, Kendrick Lamar is a conscious rapper. So he put a lot of symbolism in there to basically say, hey, these are the things that we're not going to keep tolerating. These, if we band together, this is what it could be. You know what I mean? It was so much symbolism that was missed because a lot of people were thinking that you was going to be able to dance from top to bottom of the performance, and that just wasn't what it was. Like, it was some dope songs in there, you know what I mean? But it wasn't one of those ones that you in the club. It just wasn't that. And it is what it is. But that's all I'm gonna say about the Super Bowl. In my opinion, I do think that over this not like a span of time, I do think that unfortunately Drake fell victim to his circumstance rather than using that energy that came with the song to go and just challenge and make the best album, period. You understand what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying as it pertains to that. Next in line, victim of their circumstance or conquerors of their circumstance. Wendy Williams. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Wendy like that because Wendy is a up north New Jersey woman, kind of said like she mean it, and they're not feeling Wendy like that. They're just not feeling Wendy like that. So for those of you that are tuning in, I just saw somebody come in. For those of you that are tuning in, we're talking about victims of their circumstance or conquerors of their circumstance. And we just talked about Super Bowl and the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. Now we move on to Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams could have fallen victim to her circumstance, but I believe that she has conquered or working on conquering her circumstance. And what I mean by that is, so some new, for those of you that may not really know what's going on. So about 2 years ago, Wendy Williams, of course, she divorced her husband, lost the show. And it was just a lot of stuff that kind of surrounded Wendy Williams, so much so that she ended up having to get a guardian. The reason why she had to get a guardian, what's going on, Ma? The reason why she had to get a guardian was because I didn't find out until recently, but her son was going in making lots of purchases. And so Wells Fargo flagged it because it was too much money that was coming out, and there wasn't like any type of explanation that was going on or anything like that. So then Wendy, in addition to that, she was drinking. I'm not going to say she was using any type of substances because that has not come out. That has not been proven. But I'm going to say she was drinking because they did say that. But again, for the purpose, I ain't got no money, y'all, so I'm still going to say alleged. So allegedly, she was drinking and she kind of spiraled out of control, which is where they were thinking that a lot of her money was going out. She was not in control of her money going out. So then that's where the guardian came in. Well, the guardian came in, and then Wendy basically ended up in a conservatorship. So when Wendy became, excuse me, when she got into the conservatorship, she can't go when she get ready. She cannot call out when she cannot receive calls when she wants to. She has to be the one that calls. So they basically bring her in a phone and she can then call at that point in time. But no one can just call her. She has to be the one that's doing the call now because of everything that happened. So I asked the question at the beginning, is she a victim of her circumstance or is she a conqueror of her circumstance? And the reason why I said that I feel that she's a conqueror of her circumstance because now she's defied all odds. They basically said that she had what is it called? Basically like a form of dementia. I don't want to even give y'all the wrong name, but basically like a form of dementia, basically saying that the condition will only get worse. But she's proven that that's incorrect because she's been getting better. She just went to go with her dad, her 94-year-old dad, to celebrate his birthday. She's very coherent. She's had multiple interviews. You can tell that she's not, like talking out of her head or anything. Like she's very conscious about what's happening. And so that is why I said she's taking this negative situation and she's turning it into a positive. She's working hard. She's getting ready to go in front of the judge so that they can get her examined so that she can literally spin this back around. And hopefully, for those of us that love Wendy like myself, hopefully she'll be able to have a podcast. I don't think she wants to go back into daytime TV, but I do definitely think that she wants to go into podcasting moving forward. So again, victim of your circumstance or conqueror of your circumstance. And that's why I feel that Wendy is a conqueror of her circumstance. So what are your thoughts? I feel like I've, kind of been talking. So if you're comfortable, put in the chat, what's your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Oh, snap. Oh, snap. What are your thoughts? Y'all over there looking at other stuff? All right. And so, because I already told y'all, that this will not be a long show, I do want to end this one with kind of talking about my circumstance and where I feel like I'm in it. So I've brushed this subject before. And so for those of you that are tuning in, we're talking about being a victim of your circumstance or a conqueror of your circumstance. We talked about the Super Bowl and Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. We talked about Wendy Williams. And now we are about to talk about my situation. And so to give context about that, so I brushed the situation before, but I don't think I've ever gone publicly and really, really expressed what I have gone through as a kid. So I am 35 years old, and for at least 33 years of my life, my father has utilized substances. And yes, you heard me correctly. So for 33 years, my father has been on substances. And I'll be very honest and very transparent. For 24 years of my life, I was walking around and I was angry. And honestly, I did not know why. I did not know why I was angry. I couldn't really put my fingers on it. Well, then I went to school for counseling, um, and realized that I had been carrying around the trauma. I had fallen victim to my circumstance at that time, where I'm angry at the world when the world at that time hadn't done anything to me. I was really angry because my father had used substances for 24 years. So basically, I had displaced anger. So I was given anger and issues to situations, or anger was presenting itself in situations that it should never have been a part of, right? And so I said that to say that at that time, that was what I was operating in. I did not know how to manage it. I did not know what was what. And, this is just an encouragement to anyone that's going through anything personally. You can conquer your circumstance. You do not have to be, victim to that. And it's work. I want no one to think that, oh, okay, well, I can flip a light switch and I can just get over whatever it is that I've gone through, whatever it is. Hey, Mama Trish, I can just get over whatever it is that I've gone through. It's going to take work. And if you think that, starting today means that you're going to accomplish fully all of whatever kind of trauma you've gone through or whatever kind of, circumstances you've experienced within a week's time, that's not how it works. I'm just being honest. That's not how it works. It's going to be a work in progress. You know what I mean? There's certain things that after you healed of the situation, and no one can tell you when your healing has been reached. But let's just be honest. If you have not fully healed from a situation, something 10 years from now can trigger you if it just happened that day. That's just being honest. So again, are you choosing to be a victim of your circumstance, or are you choosing to be a conqueror of your circumstance? Love you, Mama Trish. Are you choosing to be a conqueror of your circumstance? So I said that to say, so much, else has happened, and we honestly don't have the time for me to unveil everything. But I'm the youngest of 4 kids by my father. I tell people all the time, I would definitely say that I was playing by my mother. I do not think I was playing by my dad. And the only reason why I say it like that is because, to be honest with you, because of the substances that he was using, he didn't care for the other 3. To be honest with you, this is our story to tell, my story to tell, because I'm a part of it. To be honest with you, one of them he didn't even claim because he was told by his mother, "Hey, that ain't your child." And so I have a brother that's 50 now. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's so many different things that has happened. But I said that to say I chose to be a conqueror of my circumstance, especially as it pertains to that. I can't change that. I can't change the fact that my dad decided to use substances for 33 years of my life. I can't change that. But what I can do is I can say, okay, you know what? The energy that I gained or had as it pertains to that, it was hard. It was hurtful. You know what I mean? Just being honest. But I used that to figure out what I did not want to be. I use that to say, hey, this is not what I'm going to be. This is not what I want my life to be. And so that's how I personally work on conquering my circumstance. I went and I wanted to become a mental health counselor, not because I want to be a know-it-all, because let's be honest, anybody that lives on the face of this earth, you don't know it all. I don't care if your IQ is the highest of the highest, you don't know it all. You just don't. It's something that somebody else can think of or whatever. So that's just what it is. But I said that to say I chose to not let my circumstance with my father, the absence of my father affect me to the point where, there's so much more to life. I would have loved to be able to go to my father to get advice on, hey, dad, like, how do how do I go and approach this woman? Hey, dad, what can I do, to always make sure that I got money in my pocket? Hey, dad, what are some trades that you can teach me so that I would never have to, depend on anybody else? Those were things that I felt that I should have been able to go to my father to ask for, but that wasn't my circumstance. But thank God for a mother that did show me those things, that did, encourage me to, hey son, if you want to go out here and you want to paint cars, be the best car painter that you can in your life. Hey son, if you want to go out here and be a singer, go out there and be the best singer that you can in your life. Sometimes that encouragement is all you need to help you get through whatever your circumstance is. So that means that we got to open up, people. You got to talk to somebody. A counselor got to talk to another counselor. Just be honest. You as a person have to talk to another person. You know what I mean? Find your confidant. Maybe not tell that confidant everything, because listen, in 2025, people that you think are 1000% behind you, they plotting and they waiting to figure out, okay, when can I use this against that person? Just be honest. So just be careful with that. But if you have somebody that you don't grew up with, you trust them with your life, go for it. The point being, don't bottle this stuff up. Because if you bottle this stuff up, then you will become a victim of your circumstance rather than a conqueror of your circumstance. You have to let it go. You have to get it out. Go to a therapist. There's nothing wrong with therapy. And I'm not saying that because I went and because I'm not licensed yet. So technically, I can't tell you what to do. But I am a life coach. And I would recommend that if you are going through things and you find yourself navigating some tough spots, and you find yourself navigating those tough spots frequently, therapy might be a great intervention for you. And guess what? The most important part of that is somebody that's not going to judge you. It's somebody that's not going to be telling your story, not going to be telling your business. Um, exactly. Thank you, Mama Trish. Mama Trish said talking is a healing process. It is. Being able to get that stuff out is a real thing. So do that. Or if you don't feel comfortable talking to nobody, I love the burn method. That's what I call it, where you journal, and especially if it's something that's traumatic or something that you want to symbolize ridding yourself of it. I would definitely say write out, a traumatic experience that you've navigated, and understand that that's going to bring up some difficult feelings and things like that, right? Hello, everybody that just joined. We're talking about are you going to be a victim of your circumstance or a conqueror of your circumstance? And I just disclosed to you guys about my experience of going 33 years of life and my father using substances, and how I use that to help me maneuver in other situations. That's not ideal, but it's my life, and I got to do what I got to do with it. So that's what we're talking about for those of you that just joined. But again, so what I'm saying is, if you're going through something traumatic, you can journal that. You can write that down, and you can do two things. You can either keep it in your journal so that you can look back over this over the course of the next few days, the next few months, the next few years, to see like, hey, where was I then versus where am I now? You can do that method, or you can literally go through and you can write down everything that you experienced and take that, and you can do what I said earlier, the burn method, where you go and you burn it. That burning of that trauma is a symbol of you literally ridding yourself of whatever it was. You don't have to tell a soul what your trauma was, but use that burning process to rid yourself of that situation. So I would definitely say, what's going on, Cuzzo? I would definitely say that it's extremely important to rid yourself of those things so that you do not become a victim of your circumstance. We all have gone through different things. Some of us have gone through things that's similar that we won't never know that another person has gone through because either A, that person has chosen not to say anything about that, or maybe they're not in the space to be able to verbalize that, or B, that person may or may not feel comfortable saying it, and that's cool too. But the point being, we as people, we are going through many different things. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us had adverse, reactions when we found out, who the president was going to be. We had adverse, feelings when we see all of these planes that unfortunately are, going down and there's no explanation because our hearts feel for the families that have to bury, their loved ones. So it's so many different feelings that we're feeling, and it didn't just start today. You understand what I'm saying? So again, going back to it, and you guys want to hear me keep saying that, but are you a victim of your circumstance or are you a conqueror of your circumstance? Are you rising above your circumstance? Or are you just going to say, hey, you know what? This is what my scenario is. This is what it is. I'm just going to operate in this. I'm just going to choose not to. It's too hard. It's too difficult for me to try to navigate. I'm just going to sit here and deal with it. Which one are you? Are you a victim of your circumstance or are you a conqueror of your circumstance? And I'm going to give a little bit of space for people to kind of check. Let's see. They are trying to scare and stop people from leaving, going to other countries. That is definitely one way to look at that because I have definitely heard a lot of people saying that, hey, we get up out of here. And so, I agree. I agree that that could definitely be an angle that is being played. It's so much that's happening that is distracting us from other things too. You see what I'm saying? And so there's that. You know what I mean? So it's tough to say, hey, there's this one thing that we can kind of look at as the culprit of everything. No, there's so many different things. What's going on, Willie? Um, there's so many different things, that's definitely going on when it comes to that. So again, back to your unique situation, whether that be people, places, or things, you know what I mean? What is it? Like, are there certain people that's in your life that you need to rid yourself of? Because that could be contributing to your circumstance in a negative way or in a positive way. You have to kind of choose. You have to look at it from whatever works well for you. Other countries provide us with so much more than this state. Then there are bigger pictures that they don't want you to catch, so they bring that to the forefront. Exactly. So they will definitely magnify. They will definitely magnify certain things to distract you from other things. That is, you're absolutely correct. That's a real thing. And some things we can't do nothing about it. Like if I said to you guys, hey, I'm going to such and such country. If I'm able to, get myself out of here, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a matter of time where they then gonna start, not allowing other people to leave because it's like, wait a minute, I'm catching on to what y'all doing. Y'all trying to escape, like she said. So it's so many different things. So for those of you that are tuning in, we're currently talking about victims of your circumstance or conquering your circumstance. Um, I just self-disclosed prior to reading the comments. I just self-disclosed that I am 35 years old, and out of 35 years of my life, 33 of those, my dad has used substances, and that rather than me being a victim of my circumstance, I chose to be a conqueror of my circumstance. Now, that did not happen until I came to a realization at the age of 24. So I want to make that part clear. It was at the age of 24. What's going on, Kiana? It was at the age of 24 that I realized that I was carrying around so much anger. And I still listen, I still got some stuff to work through. But my father being on substances is no longer one of those things that holds me hostage. That's not one of those things that I'm a victim to anymore. That was my reality. He was not there. He missed out on a lot of things. My mother raised me. She reared me, along with other family members, helped me get on the straight and narrow, all the good things, you know what I mean? And that's what it is. I don't dislike my dad. It is what it is. It wasn't until I got older that I realized that, more specifically, when I started going to school for counseling, that when a person uses substances, especially for a long period of time, it literally changes the way your brain functions, literally. So it's now a disorder. You understand what I'm saying? It's now a disease. And so I don't blame him for that anymore. It is what it is. I did, like I said, I did up until I was 24. I did. But at this point, it's nothing that I can do about that. But what I will say is it wasn't until 2020 that I realized that I got from my dad what I should have gotten from my dad years prior. And it was bittersweet. It was bittersweet because I lost the love of my life, which was my mother, on January 21st, 2020. But it was at that time that my dad changed the way that he was my dad. And what I mean by that is he was calling me 3 times a week. Well, what's going on, cuzzo? He was calling me 3 times a week, checking on me, making sure that I was good because he knew how me and my mom were. You see what I'm saying? And so I think that also helped. Like I have already forgiven him back when I was 24. But I think him stepping up when I lost my mom helped me even further navigate the situation of not being a victim to the fact that my dad was not present in my life. It helped in that particular case. So again, in that particular case, in that particular scenario, I would definitely say that I'm now a conqueror of that circumstance. But I was definitely a victim of that circumstance because I couldn't understand why my dad, who wouldn't want to be a part of their child's life? Who wouldn't want, to give their child the world if they could? You know what I mean? Who wouldn't want to teach their child, different skill sets and so forth and so on? Who wouldn't want to do that? If you didn't want to do that, then, well, as the old folks say, the seasoned saints say, then you know what to do not to get kids. If you know that you're not planning to do what needs to be done, then you know what you should not do to get these kids. So again, that was the premise of the show tonight, y'all. I told y'all I won't go that long. I know the clock says that we've been rolling for 59 minutes, but it really technically only be like 45. So with that being said, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I thank y'all all for tuning in. I hope that I've said something that makes you think. Oh, wait. I didn't see your comment, Willie. My bad. Willie said, I never had my father in my life, but I didn't let it break me. Exactly. You have to channel that energy. You have to use that energy and place it, shift it somewhere else. Let that be your propel. Let that be something that helps you move to that next, milestone in your life. Cuzzo came in and said, my father wasn't in my life for a long time as well. When I lost my brother, Corey, I remember Corey too. When I lost my brother, Corey, is when we got closer. Now my father is also gone. I did not allow it to determine my outcome. Absolutely. again, you have to take that energy and use it, channel it. Like, honestly speaking, and I'm gonna use this as an example. Now, I don't know exactly what Mary's doing in her life now, but some of the best music comes from people that have experienced something. Everybody can go right now and play What's the 411? Tell me I'm lying. And you're gonna be jamming from start to finish of that album. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. But that is perhaps the time that she was experiencing the worst of the worst. Drug usage, alcoholism, abusive relationships, and allegedly, now I'm saying alleged on this part because the other part she's spoken about. Allegedly, some of the Hollywood gangs, I'm gonna say that. I ain't even going to because I can't prove it. But allegedly, some of the Hollywood gangs. But again, I said all that to say some of the best music came in that moment. So with her releasing that music, was she then a victim of her circumstance? Or did she become a conqueror of her circumstance? Or did she continue to be a victim of her circumstance until she was able to really truly work through that? Sierra came in and said, man's rejection is God's. You better say that. Man's rejection is God's protection. That's absolutely a fact. Nakima came in and said, my maternal granddaddy was the only father figure in my life. Long live Best Eye. And we share the same granddaddy. And I would definitely say that she's correct. Her experience was very, very pleasurable with our granddaddy. The first 3 grandchildren experience with our granddaddy was extremely pleasurable. I would say that. Now, what I will say is my granddaddy, I can't lie. I will always admire him for teaching me how to go cut grass, teaching me how to, do landscaping and stuff like that. When you catch me doing it, and I don't want to be out there to eat. I'll do it right now because it's cold. So if you tell me, hey, Jarvis, I need you to come plant these flowers for me, I could do that. But as soon as it turns hot, I cannot do that. Don't even ask. That's why the Lord blessed me to get a townhome because that's what HOA paid for. HOA paid for yard work and stuff. I'll do it, but my asthma and my sinuses and stuff. So I don't want y'all to think, oh, this is pretty boy. He ain't gonna get out there. Yes, my granddad taught me how to do that. You know what I mean? So I know how to cut grass. I know how to, I know how to cut grass. I know how to do some landscaping stuff. Honestly speaking, I would even say that granddaddy taught me fashion. Because one thing about granddaddy, he could put an outfit together. Like even with these frames right here that I'm wearing, this is very Robert Gillen, Best Eye. He would definitely wear these. Like if he were living, he definitely would wear these. Cousins, what do y'all think? Can't y'all see granddaddy in some glasses like this? I could. So like I said, I won't sit here and say that every experience with my granddaddy was horrible, but believe you me, now, saints, if y'all don't want to hear what I'm about to say, you may want to leave now. Well, my granddad told my ass up, and I think that's why I got a different experience with our grandfather than the older 3. Because I'm number 7, Nakima is number 1, and then it goes down the line. Different experience with him. He told my ass up, and he told my cousin ass up, but he may or may not describe it. So that's his story to tell. We used to get the beats together. How about that? Say that. But yeah, my cousins came in and said, "Yep, he will wear these kind of glasses." We were not bad. We were just country kids. We were boys in the country that didn't have nothing to do. I tell you what, when you came and got us, were we bad at your house? No, because you had stuff for us to do. Whether that was, you know why he was nice to you, Rosalind? He was nice to you because you're a little lighter than me. That's my experience. That's what I think. Now, I could be wrong, but that's my thoughts. You was one of them light ones. I was not. Now, even though people up here, they swear out I'm light skinned, I'm like, oh, you don't know. I'm dark skinned compared to my folks. My folks be light skinned. They light skinned. Especially you, Rosalind. You high yellow. Look out, high yellow, you know, all y'all high yellow peoples. I'm just saying, y'all high yellow. I'm not quite high yellow. Anyway, so again, because I want to wrap it back because I don't want y'all to be like, we don't went way left. Choosing to be a victim of your circumstance or a conqueror of your circumstance. So I want you guys to really, really think about whatever it is that you're going through, whatever it is that you have gone through. And I want you to really, really think in terms of, hey, did I give as much time to that? Did I really, really navigate that? Did I really, really, do some soul searching around this situation, around this particular circumstance? Did I really, really do whatever I could to really get beyond or past the situation? And I'm not talking about one of those ones that's definitely my ethnicity yellow. Exactly. On your EOCs and all of that stuff, you should check yellow because you're not black. Yellow. You are light. Really light skin. That's my cousin, y'all. I can say that to. But yeah, so are you working through whatever it is that you've worked through? Now listen, a lot of us, that's in the chat, we got a little bit of age on us, you know what I mean? Like, is it some childhood trauma that we went through that maybe we didn't give enough energy because we kids? You know what I mean? Like, for me, like I was telling them, my granddaddy tear my ass up was traumatic to me. Now, some of the stuff that I did as a kid that I deserved, I did. I ain't even gonna sit here and hold you. I did. But the way that I got disciplined by my granddaddy, that I'm not gonna say on here, but the way I got disciplined by my granddaddy, it was very traumatic for me. It just was. So again, if I didn't go back and give energy on that, like, to be honest with you, sometimes if we talk too much about it, it might trigger me a little bit, for real, because I can remember when. You know what I mean? But again, that's something that I'm still working through too. So I think people think that just because we are adults that we have arrived, you know what I mean? But the reality is we have all gone through something that lingers, and just because it's not at the forefront don't mean that it ain't back there. And if the right person, place, or thing or scenario happen, it's coming back to the forefront. That's just what it is. That's what it is. All I'm gonna say is I'm not even gonna read that. Your comment shall be deleted. I'm a social worker. I can't even take it out. Delete your comment. Where is it? I can't even pull it up. Don't be telling none of that. We're not gonna talk about before people learn the right way to discipline their kids. Yes, some inappropriate things transpire. That's true. Don't laugh, Roz. Don't laugh at her because where that damn comment is. Because I'm finna click it out. Bye. Delete. And don't you put it back in there. Because we would not tolerate any Pam slander on this page here. Okay? No Pam slander. But you right, she did whoop my ass. She told my ass up too. She told my ass up too. Now, a lot of those scenarios I deserved, but don't tell my mom business. Um, I don't even know what I don't even know what that comment what it is. Okay, Mama Trish came in and said, I thank Mama for all of the whipping that I got because that made me a better person. She didn't play, and I didn't play with my kids, but I didn't play with my kids. I was their mom, not their friend. Exactly. I love them to pieces. Exactly. I don't think that a whipping, I don't think a whipping is or never will be a problem in my book. Because I definitely feel that sorry y'all, the kids sound like they ran in my front yard. I don't know what's happening. Um but matter of fact, ain't it time for kids to be in the bed while they outside? Okay, sorry. I'm minding my business. Um I definitely think that whippings do definitely help people. But this day and age in 2025, if any of these kids got what we got back in the day, oh, as a social worker, I'm already telling you what's playing. It's a problem. It's a wrap. If they got what we got back in the day. And to your point, Mama Trish, and to it when they closed the mall, but I don't understand why they in front of my house. They going back down the way you stayed. But thank you for saying that. You're right. And you're right, cousin. We are built for it tough. You know what I mean? I do definitely think that, even with that, when I turned 18 and I talked to my mama, I didn't use the cuss words because I ain't cussing in front of my mama. But what I would say is I went back to my mama, I was like, Mom, I was like, I know you love me. You know what I mean? That's never been a doubt in my mind. It's like, but you whooped the fool out of me. You whooped me. And we had a conversation that she was doing to me, PTSD, that she was doing to me. Willie said it went on snow days. We didn't. If a drop of snow happened in Bertie, we was out. We was on the way out at least. If it started snowing while I was in school, we was on the way out for sure. And up here, where in the triangle area, if they got it in the forecast, you ain't going. But yeah. So me and my mom, we had a conversation, and we kind of talked about how it was a lot. But she then sat me down and she explained to me, baby, like I was doing to you what was done to me. And a lot of, I wasn't doing it to abuse you or anything, but you weren't listening. You needed to be disciplined. And I got it. I understood. You know what I mean? The method that was used, I didn't quite understand that because it sure didn't feel good. You know what I mean? But come on now, y'all know back in the day we got beat with switches. We got beat with, other things. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, sometimes having those conversations will help you do what? Move towards conquering that circumstance. And so that's ultimately what this whole section was about today. This checking in with Pam LLC was about. If you had in the past or currently been a victim of your circumstance, work on, working towards conquering, rising above your circumstance, because that's not some energy that you want to continuously take into your future. We all are work in progress, so don't think that, we don't have our own things that we have to continue to work through, because we do, right? But the main thing is don't sit there in it. Don't sit there in it. That's the message. Yeah, that's the message. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for interacting. I thank y'all for those that shared it. I thank you for sharing it. And for the wait, don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. I just want to say this because a lot of you weren't here earlier. So I am on another platform as well. I'm on Hey Cuz Wait, Nakima. Wait. I am on another podcast as well. I am on a podcast called Hey Cousin Podcast. So we shoot that every other week. So with that being said, you're gonna still be getting checking in with Pam LLC as well as Hey Cousin Podcast. Okay. And so you're gonna get 2 episodes per month of checking in with Pam LLC, and you're gonna get 2 episodes of Hey Cousin Podcast where I'm a co-host on there, right? And so I just want to let you guys know that checking in with Pam LLC, as long as I got breath in my body, my plan is for checking in with Pam LLC to continue. I definitely don't plan for it to go nowhere. And as long as the Lord allows, checking in with Pam LLC is going to be here. But I also want to let you know that I'll be on another platform as well, Hey Cousin Podcast. And so I'll be sharing that. So if you guys see me posting a lot of stuff, that's why. Okay. So with that being said, before you leave, if you guys have any topics that you would like for me to cover, you can reach out to me on my personal page, which is obviously Jarvis J Notes James, or you can go over to the business page, which is Passionately Aiming and Manifesting LLC, and you can message me there because we are live from Passionately Aiming and Manifesting LLC. Okay. Thank you, Mama Trish. Mama Trish said, Jarvis, I am so proud of you, my son, by another beautiful mother, and we love you. Love y'all too. You and Willie, love y'all. I love you too, little sister Sierra. I like to say that because that gets on her skin. But yes, so you guys know my favorite outro. We will be black, but instead of me saying we'll be black next week, we'll be black in 2 weeks. Because that's when we come back. So love y'all. Y'all have a good evening. And remember, victim of your circumstance or conqueror of your circumstance. So just think about that. And if you need any help navigating that space, I am here to assist. Have a good night, everybody. Love you too, Willie.